This is a Substack article and podcast produced and directed by Carl himself, music by various fine musicians, and hair by Rachel Skierchak.
You've heard it muttered with smug self-effacement, a sneering apology disguised as a joke. I know, first world problems. It's a phrase that aims to check privilege, to acknowledge the vast disparities of global suffering, yet it often does the opposite. It sterilizes pain, isolates distress, and enshrines a false hierarchy of trauma. Most insidiously, it conceals the structural rot at the heart of the so-called First World, a term as outdated and ideological as the Cold War that birthed it. At its core, the First World Problem label is an anesthetic. It numbs inquiry. It implies that our pain is self-inflicted, unserious, or worse, imaginary. But what if the inverse is true? What if so many first-world problems are actually engineered problems, deliberate products of the military-industrial food agribusiness government complex, wreaking real, measurable harm on American bodies and communities? Let's begin with food. The United States, unlike almost every other culture on Earth, has no robust local food tradition. Not anymore. It has drive-thrus. It has dollar menus. It has deep-fried isolation packaged in styrofoam, flavored with sugar, salt, and surveillance. Across much of the world, communities still gather around ancestral dishes, ingredients passed down, grown in soil known to their lineage. Whether it's a Sardinian sheep cheese, or a Kenyan ugali, or a Vietnamese pho, these are not just meals, they are memory, community, continuity. In America, we've industrialized nourishment into product. In the name of freedom, we've outsourced our sustenance to profit-driven conglomerates more interested in shelf stability, malnourished at once, sick with preventable diseases, addicted to food-like substances engineered for compulsive consumption. And then we're told implicitly and explicitly that our suffering, but consider, is the child developing fatty liver disease at 12 from ultra-processed school lunches suffering a false dilemma? Is the grieving mother watching her community hollowed out by diabetes and addiction in a food desert the victim of her own imagination? Or is she, the first world problem trope collapses global complexity into a patronizing binary where those in the global north are only allowed existential woes, and those in the global south are granted the dignity of material suffering? But the line between the two is a fiction convenient for governments and corporations that profit off both war and peace, both famine and feast. And who constructed this myth? The very institutions that reap profit from keeping Americans dependent, fragmented, pacified. The military-industrial complex taught us that foreign bombs were our patriotic duty. The food-industrial complex taught us that self-inflicted poison was our personal of them work in tandem, constructing a new kind of empire, not territorial, but neurological. This isn't conspiracy. It's capitalism with a flag and a lab coat. And yet we joke, first world problem, when the pain is real, just unseen, undignified, unacknowledged. So what's the way forward? We must retire the phrase stop apologizing for noticing we are unwell. Start seeing the American condition not as an embarrassing inconvenience, but as an indictment of the systems we've been told are modernity's triumphs. We must rebuild food sovereignty, reclaim localism, not colonial terms, and instead centers the human experience over the imperial logic of economic zones. Because here's the deeper truth. There are no first world or third world problems. There is only the human problem, and whether or not we choose to treat it with compassion, connection, and care.
Carl's mind chimes are a passion of his. Please consider supporting his work through Substack. And if you would like the conjuring of some different subjects, well, don't be shy. Send a message. Carl is more than happy to give you his opinion on any subject whatsoever.